Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Now, today I'm going to start a new series on Python, which I'm going to call Practicing Python Like a Pro, right? And in this series, what I'll do is I'll solve questions on Python based on the level of difficulty. So you'll see questions of difficulty level beginner, difficulty level advanced, and difficulty level intermediate, right? All three ranges of questions. And I'm going to do a step-by-step solution explaining everything in the question step by step so you can understand it. And if you have further queries or questions, you can always go ahead and post them in the comment section below and I will answer them for you. All right, now let's not wait any more time and let's jump right into it. So we have our first question here for today, which is a weight converter program that we have to code. And the question goes something like this. It says, create a program that converts a person's weight from pounds to kilograms and vice versa, depending on the user input. So we need to take user input. That's the first thing we got from here. Now, the question also says user can select whether to enter their weight in pounds or kilograms, and the output weight is converted weight with units. So from what you can see from this question is we need two things. We need two different inputs. We need an input for the weight itself and the input for the selection that the user is going to make. And the user is going to select whatever weight he or she is going to write as pounds or kilograms, right? So we have a hint here, which is 1 kilogram equals to 2.20462 pounds. And we have to use this somehow in our question. So what I'll do is I'll give you a minute to solve this question. You can go ahead and pause the video right now. And then once you've done, you can look at the solution. All right, so to solve this problem, what we need to do first is we need to take user input. We're going to say something like user underscore self or user selection equals to input, enter your weight. Enter your selection, and we can write here P for pounds, and let's say K for kilograms. Okay, that looks good. Now we can put another selection here, this, and paste this again, and we can go ahead and change the variable name here. We can call this weight, right? This will be the user's weight that the user will input. Okay, enter your weight for conversion, right? All right, so what we need to do now is we need to make the user selection dot lower, and the reason for that is I'll explain in a moment. So when you create our conditions, we're going to create something like if user selection equals to P, right? So we're going to compare whatever value is stored inside user selection to whatever string we are going to compare is the string that we're going to compare it to is the P, right? Lowercase p. And so what this lower does here is actually it, even if the user writes a capital P, it will still accept it because it's still a P, right? It's just capitalized. So we have like a range of input that the program can accept and it will still work. So let's say I'm just going to print here something. Let's just print works, just to show you that it actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this out for now. See, there we go. Okay, so enter your selection P for pounds, K for kilograms. I'm going to write a capital P here. There you go, it works. Okay, so now we can go ahead and uncommit this weight here, but for now it's not going to work, and the reason for that is basically the data type of the input is a string. And if you look at this pop-up that comes up, if I hover my mouse over it, it says, if you look at that arrow there, it's pointing to an str. That means whatever the value passes through the input function, it returns as a string, right? So we want to convert it into an integer so we can basically work with numbers to divide and multiply for our conversion. And to do that, what we can do is either we can use input integer or float. Now for this situation, the we would use a float, and the reason for that is because a float function can accept both input integer and float values, whereas the int function can only accept integer values. And if you try to put in a float, it doesn't work. Let me show you. If I say int here and I do that, you'll see that it doesn't quite work. Let me show you, right? So you still have the same code. And now we're going to, let's clear this out as well. We have a clean terminal and we can start running this. So if you write here p, right, and you pass in a weight as 125.5, this is going to give you an error. And the reason why it's giving you an error is because you're using int, right? So int doesn't accept float value, so we need to use float here. And now if I try to use float values, it should work. There we go. Let's see, 12.5. There you go, it accepts it. Okay, so the next step is to basically do the conversion itself. So if the user writes p, that means he's putting the weight in pounds. So we need to convert it into kilograms. So we can go ahead and write here weight. And to convert it into kilograms, what we need to do is we need to move from pounds to kilograms. So we need to divide, right? So we're going to do weight divide equals to 2.20462. That's the value there that we have. And this is basically the same thing as saying weight equals to weight divided by 2.20462, right? So this is a much easier and shorter and more compact way of writing this. And the reason why I'm writing it like this is because of one fundamental concept that we have in programming, and that is dry. Dry stands for don't repeat yourself, right? So we want to avoid repetition as much as possible. So we have an option here to avoid rewriting this weight variable again. We can just go ahead and do it directly here. And what this will do is it will divide the weight that the user puts in by 2.20462 and store that result in weight again. So it's going to overwrite the value. Now we can go ahead and print weight. So we can write your weight in kilograms is, and we can go ahead and put a weight here, and we can write kilograms, kg. Make this a string. There we go. Perfect, right? So now let's test this out. So we can write p. Let's put in some weight, 2.20462, and that gives us your weight in kilogram is 1 kg. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and write the second condition similarly. Now since we're working with an if block, the thing with the if block is that you need to write the first condition in an if statement or an if block is always going to be an if, and every other condition after that is going to be an elif. And at the very end, once all your conditions have been written, you can write an else, right? Never write if. That's a really bad way of writing questions. I've seen a lot of students do that. That's not good. That is bad programming practice. The proper programming practice is you write an if followed by elifs, and at the end you can write an else. Elif stands for else if. Okay, and now we can go ahead and change this to a k, because now we want to convert from kilograms to our pounds. So I can go ahead and write your weight in pounds is pounds, right? And just put a comment here for ease, right? For pounds or kilograms. Okay. Put an arrow here as well. And same thing here. Okay. All right, let's test this out again. So we can put a k here, and we can put 200. Let's put like 100, right? 100 pounds, that would be 220.462. Great. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and put my else statement. Now what this else statement will do is it will, any other input besides the p and k would be declared as an invalid statement, and it would go to the elif, right? So now the program can also accept invalid statements. So we can write invalid statement, please enter either P for pounds or K for kilogram. There you go. Let's test this out. So I'm gonna put in an invalid statement here, and okay, so you can see there we have a problem here, right? It still asks me for the weight even though I've written an invalid statement. It should just say invalid statement directly, say this statement directly, right? So to solve that, what we can do is we can write an if condition here. We can say if user selection equals to P or user selection equals to K. What we want to do is we want to go ahead, and if this is true, then we want to go ahead and run the code. Otherwise, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and do this statement here, right? And we can test it out as well. Let's test it again. So run that one more time. Clear this out and run this program again. We can write an invalid statement here. There we go. Invalid statement, please enter either P for pounds or K for kilograms, right? And yeah, so now we can go ahead and test our other outputs as well. So we can write P. Let's write a conversion. Let's say we have 2.20462. This should give me 1 kilogram. Perfect. And we can go ahead and test for kilograms. So we can say 1. There we go. Perfect. So the code is working properly. You can go ahead and put any other value as well. Let's take I don't know, some value like 234, and it gives me the correct conversion, right? And last thing we can do is we can also make the statement using an f string, and go ahead and say here, instead of writing it like this, you can put an f followed by 2 apostrophes. So this is the formatted string. The benefit of this is it's more compact again, and as soon as the value of your variables update, it updates it in here. So anything you want to write as a string, you just put it like that. You can say your, make it capitalized so you can see the difference in the output. Your weight is pretty much going to be the same in kilograms is, and then you can go ahead and put your weight there, and then you can put kg here, and that's pretty good, right? So you can write it like this, or you can write it like this. Personally, I prefer this one. This is more compact and it's much easier in my opinion, right? And this is more optimized for the programming. So you can write if print statement in both ways, but personally, but this is much better. Okay, so now we can go ahead and test our program. So let's run this, and let's use the first condition P, and we can go ahead and write weight here. So we're gonna write here, let's say 200, so 100. So this is going to be 45 in kilograms, right? Let's put a space so it comes out a little better. P again. The weight is 2.2. Okay, great. See, it works. And then we can go ahead and write the other conversion. We can write K here, and we can put here like 200. Yeah, so you can see it's kind of the same, exactly the same, but the way you write it is different. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope you liked the video, and please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and comment if you have any other suggestions for the video on how to improve it, or you would like to ask a question. And if you would like to learn Python from me personally, I have a profile on Preply. You can go ahead and click the link in the description, and that would take you to my profile. And as always, the code is going to be in the description, so you can have a look at the code, and obviously the solution is right there with you. And please click the bell icon to be notified for further videos which I will be uploading. I'll be solving more questions. Some would be harder, some would be intermediate. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.